Okay, salam sejahtera. Untuk slot yang ketiga untuk chapter 10 ini, iaitu 10.2, rate of change. So, kejap nanti saya akan bincang dia punya step. Okay, so dia adalah berbeza dengan optimization problem dan experiment problem. So, rate of change dia adalah bahagian yang lain pula dengan yang bahagian 10.1. So, mari kita mula. So, kalau merujuk kepada sini, kena tengok betul-betul.
Here we have the subtopic, rate of change. If y is a function of x, meaning that y in terms of x, then dy dx is the rate of change of y with respect to x. Next, dx dt represent the rate of change of displacement with respect to time. That is, dx dt represent the velocity. If the rate of increase, meaning that the value will be positive. If the rate of decrease, and the value will be negative. Rate of change can be related by the chain rule, which is dy dt equals to dy dx multiplied with dx dt.
Okay, so untuk bahagian ini, iaitu rate of change ini, yang paling penting adalah dia punya chain rule. Okay, kemudian kena faham bahasa lah soalan itu. So kalau kita dapat rate itu, macam mana nak tahu rate itu? Di bawah dia mesti ada dt. Kalau kita dapat rate itu increase, maksudnya positif. Kalau rate dia decrease, maksudnya negatif. So tak apa, kita tengok contoh dan kita tengok apa benda yang kita boleh highlight untuk soalan rate of change.
Here we have the example for the rate of change. A spherical balloon is being blown up so that its volume increase. The volume increased at the constant rate of 30 cm3 s -1. So meaning that the info we have dv dt equals to positive 30 because we have volume increase.
Apa? Volume increase. So, spherical balloon, kena buat lukisan lah. Being blow, maksudnya dalam balloon tu, dia punya volume increase. So, that's why dv dt kita positive.
When the radius is 12, so r will be equals to 12. At what rate? When the mentioned rate meaning that d dt. At what rate is the radius increased? So meaning that the question asking about dr dt. So try to imagine we have a balloon which is in spherical size. So to find the volume of the spherical balloon, we will have 4 pi r cubed over 3. That is the info that we have. So try to rewrite the chain rule. So in here, the chain rule, we have dr dt equals to dv dt multiply with dr dv. So that is the chain rule. So try to make use of the formula for volume. So in here, differentiate dv dr in order to find the dr dv. So in here, dv dr will be equals to 3 bracket 4 pi r squared over 3. Simplify the situation, we have dv dr is equals to 4 pi r squared.
Okay, so step pertama, extract information. Nampak tak blue in color? Extract information. Okay, so bila dia cakap 12, tulis 12, dia kata rate of radius dr dt, then ini adalah spherical balloon, then dapatkan volume. Second step, create you punya apa? You punya chain rule. So, tajuk dia dr dt. So, diberi dv dt, darablah dengan sesuatu. Okay, yang penting dia sama dengan the left hand side. So, sini saya dapat dr dv. So, rujuk kepada info you, cuba you bayangkan mana yang boleh dapat dr dv. So, di sini saya nampaklah dv dr. Clear? So, that's why dia bagi arahan kita differentiate v with respect to r. So, buat. Akhirnya, ganti. Dan menjawab soalan.
Do remember to substitute the situation into the formula of chain rule. So in here we have dr dt, which is equals to 30 multiply with, flip the situation. So we will have 1 over 4 pi r squared, where r is equals to 12. So dr dt will be equals to 30 over 4 pi r squared. So by using the calculator, kindly calculate the situation. So we have dr dt will be equals to 0.0165786. So as a conclusion, dr dt is equals to 0.017 cm s -1.
Okay, so haraplah you all nampak flow dia. Yang pertama baca soalan, kemudian keluarkan info yang ada blue in color. Kemudian cuba nyatakan formula yang ada kaitan dalam warna biru tu. Second step, create chain rule. Okay, guna info yang ada, gabungkan, create chain rule. Kemudian step yang ketiga, kita usaha dapatkan terms-terms yang dalam chain rule tu perlu. Sebagai contoh di sini, memerlukan DR, DV. So, usahalah DR, DV. Teruskan menjawab soalan. Okay, menjawab soalan. Kemudian carilah apa-apa yang sesuai untuk capai matlamat. So, itu adalah dia punya flow. Tak apa, kita ada lagi contoh yang lain, kita tengok.
An inverted right circular cone has a semi-vertical angles 30 degree. So in here, we have 30 degree. Water run out of a small hole at the vertex. So here we have the vertex and the water run out at the cone at a constant rate. So in here we have dV dt equals to -3 because the water run out. Find the rate at which the depth, the rate and the depth. So we will have dH dt become our focus. Of the water is falling when the volume of water is 81 pi cm cube. So meaning that the volume is 81 pi. Kindly refers to the diagram. We have it a right circular cone. So the formula for the right circular cone, will be V is equals to pi r square h over 3. So in here, for the left hand side, we have a V as a volume. For the right hand side, we have two variables, which is r and h. So next, what we have to do is try to create or generate a chain rule. So where we will have dH dt is equals to dV dt multiplied with dH dV. So from here, we notice that we're going to have equation V in terms of H. So meaning that we are going to replace the R, or we are going to change the situation from R to H. So kindly refers to the diagram. So now we have a right angle triangle where we have 30 degree, and here we will have H and here as a R. So kindly make use of the tangent 30 for the ratio opposite over adjacent. So R over H. Tangent 30 degree is a special angle where we have 1 over square root of 3 equals to R over H. Now what we're going to do is to try to make use of the situation R in terms of H. So R will be equals to H over square root of 3. Kindly substitute R equals to H over 3 into this part so that we can have V in terms of H. So if we substitute, V is equals to pi R squared. So now written as pi H over 3 bracket R squared, where we have H over square root of 3 bracket square. Simplify, V will be equals to pi H multiplied with H square over 3 bracket with 3. Simplify the situation, V will be equals to pi H cube over 9. So now we have V in terms of H.
Okay, so mari kita tengok soalan ni ya, rate of change. Pertama, macam mana saya tahu dia rate of change? Very simple. You tengok soalan, ada perkataan rate. Itu je. Okay, kalau perkataan dia maximum minimum, automatic kita tahu dia optimization problem. So, an inverted right circular cone. So, saya buat apa? Saya buat lukisan. Extract information. Semi-vertical angle. Semi maksudnya half. That's why kita nampak lah ya. Di sini kita ada 30 degree. Water run out of a small hole of a vertex. Ini vertex. So, maksudnya kalau air turun, kita bincang tentang cone kan? Cone punya apa? Cone punya volume akan berkurang. Betul? So, teruskan. Dia bagi tahu you constant rate. cm cube. Automatic kita bincang apa? Kita bincang volume. Okay? S -1 maksudnya masa. That's why kita ada dV dt. cm cube. Kemudian bawah S second. Betul? So, -3 sebab volume decreasing. Teruskan. Find the rate at which the depth of the water is falling. Maksudnya, you punya H akan berturun. Betul? Kalau air ni makin hari makin kurang, so HU makin turun lah. So, fokus kita dH dt. Saya boleh bagi tahu you, dH dt you mesti negatif. Sebab, kalau rujuk ke diagram ini, H dia makin hari makin rendah. So, dia kata, when the volume of water is 81 pi cm cube. Maksudnya, dia bagi info volume. So, cuba bayangkan formula untuk cone ini dalam volume. So, saya dapat pi r squared multiply with 1/3 atau 1/3 multiply with pi r squared. Ini adalah standard formula untuk cone. Okay, siap. So nampak warna biru ni semua adalah info daripada soalan. Kemudian cone ini adalah lukisan. Kalau soalan tak bagi, you perlu lukis. Siap. Step pertama, extract info. Step kedua, buat chain rule. Okay, ini sebagai tajuk DHDT. Ini information yang diberi, masukkan. Kemudian create. Kita nak DH, DV. Rujuk warna biru ini, mana satu boleh bantu kita? Di sini dia. So ingat mesti kena ingat benda ini. Sebelah kiri satu variable, sebelah kanan pun satu variable. Dan kita cuba bayangkan apa benda yang boleh bantu kita untuk menjawab soalan ni. Kita nak tukar dia jadi satu variable. Di sini boleh buat remark, ada dua benda. Yang pertama, kita panggil ratio. Okay? So ini adalah ratio. Yang kedua, Pythagoras theorem. Ada dua benda yang you boleh guna. So kebiasaan. Okay? Ratio, contoh, ini ratio lah. Lagi satu adalah Pythagoras theorem. So ratio, H dengan R. Okay? H dengan R. So saya namakan dia HR. Kemudian masa yang sama, sepatutnya. Okay? O dengan A diberi nombor. Tetapi, dia tak bagi. Dia bagi saya angle trigo. So saya cuba kaitkan dengan tangent. Kenapa tak guna sin? Boleh juga. Tetapi masalah saya, apa? Saya tak ada R, saya tak ada H. Macam mana nak cari H hypotenuse ini? So the best way adalah guna tangent. So dapatlah ini. So ingat ini special angle. Okay, siap. So saya guna ini ratio punya strategi untuk bantu saya tukar daripada RH tukar jadi H sahaja. Then ikut arahan nak DH DV. Di sini ada DV DH. So lakukan. Kemudian ganti.
In order to find the DH/dV, so we are going to differentiate the V respect to H. So dV dH is equals to 3 pi H square over 9. Simplify the situation and we will have dV dH is equals to pi H square over 3. Next, we are going to substitute the situation. So dH dt is equals to negative 3 multiply with, do remember to flip the situation. So we will have 3 over pi H square. So simplify, we will have negative 9 over pi H square for dH dt. We still need the value of H so that we can get dH dt. Do remember, we have the volume V is equals to 81 pi. So kindly make use of the situation. Substitute into this part. So we will have 81 pi equals to pi H cube over 9. Simplify the situation. So we will have 81 multiplied with 9 equals to H cube. So H cube will be equals to 9 to the power of 3. So H will be equals to 9. So now we have the value of H and we have to substitute the situation into dH dt. So where we have negative 9 over pi bracket 9 squared. Simplify the situation and we will have negative 1 over 9 pi cm as negative 1 for dH dt.
Okay? So haraplah you nampak dia punya flow. So dari sini tadi saya cakap apa? DH dt dia mesti negatif. Sebab you punya volume decreasing kan. So automatic lah air dalam kon tu makin hari makin turun, makin rendah. That's why HU makin rendah. So dah dua contoh ya. So saya bincang untuk rate of change. So saya akan teruskan lagi. Kita nak tengok dia punya pattern tu atau dia punya langkah-langkah untuk menjawab soalan rate of change tu sama ke tidak.
A flex in the shape of cone of height 20 cm and radius 8 cm is held vertex downwards. So now we have the cone and the H is 20 and the R is 8, the vertex downward. Show that when the depth of the water in the flag is x cm, the volume of water is 4 over 75 pi x cube cm cube. So the question asks us to find 4 over 75 pi x cube cm cube. Water leak out from the vertex at the rate. So we have dV dt equals to negative 2. Find the rate of change of the depth of the water when the depth is 10 cm. So question asks us to find dH dt. And the H given is 10 cm. So by referring to the diagram, do remember to draft up the formula for the cone. So the formula for the cone will be V is equals to pi r square H over 3. We are going to express the situation V in terms of H. So meaning that we have to change the R to H. So kindly make use of the situation. So here we have the H and R. So previously, the H is equals to 20 and the R is equals to 8. So kindly make use of the ratio. Here we have R over H, which is equals to 8 over 20. Kindly simplify.
Okay, so kita check semula ya. Betul tak step tadi dengan step yang ini? Yang pertama, extract info. Betul? Yang kedua, buat diagram, then rujuk. Tadi saya kata apa? Ratio. So ini pun soalan ratio. Tetapi soalan tadi adalah dia bagi trigo. Yang ini tak bagi trigo, dia bagi ratio. Faham? Okay, so harap membantulah. Teruskan lagi. Kena buat apa? Kena buat chain rule dia.
The situation and rearrange the situation so that R become the subject. So R will be equals to 8H over 20. Simplify, R will be equals to 2H over 5. Kindly substitute the R into the function V. So we will have V equals to pi H over 3 bracket R squared. So 2H over 5 bracket square. So V will be equals to pi H bracket 4H square over 3 multiplied with 25. So V will be equals to 4 pi H cubed over 75. Kindly refers to the question. Show that when the depth of the water in the flask is x cm, meaning that the H is equals to x. So H is equals to x, so V will be equals to 4 pi x cubed over 75. So meaning that, show that the volume of the water is 4 over 75 pi x cubed cm cubed. So we have shown this situation. Next, the question mentioned that the water leaked out from the vertex at the rate of 2. So we have negative 2. Find the rate of change of the depth. So meaning that dH dt will be our focus when H is equals to 10. So now what we have to do is to have the chain rule. dH dt is equals to dV dt multiply with dH dV. So in here, we notice that we have V in terms of H. So now what we have to do is to make use of V equals to 4 pi over 75 H cubed. dV dH, we will have 3 bracket 4 pi over 75 H square. Simplify the situation, we will have dV dH is equals to 4 pi H square over 25. So kindly substitute the situation into the chain rule. Now we will have dH dt equals to negative 2. Do remember to flip the situation because we have dH dV. So multiply with 25 over 4 pi H square. Simplify, dH dt will be equals to negative 2 multiplied with 25 over 4 pi H square. And we will have to simplify the situation. So finally, negative 25 over 2 pi H square. So given that the H for the moment is equals to 10, substitute the situation. So we will have negative 25 over 2 bracket 10 multiplied with 10 pi. By using the calculator, we can simplify the situation. So we will have negative 1 over 8 pi as a dH dt.
Okay, so saya ulang semula ya. So proses dia apa? Extract info, kemudian rujuk info itu, kita dapatkan kita punya chain rule punya formula, dan berdasarkan chain rule itu kita dapatkanlah apa yang dalam chain rule tu mention. Kemudian usaha supaya kita punya equation tu single variable left and right. Then jawab atau differentiate berdasarkan chain rule, then akhirnya substitute untuk menyelesaikan masalah. Okay, so itu adalah gaya lah, kaedah lah untuk menjawab soalan rate of change. Tak apa, kita ada lagi contoh. Kita teruskan lagi.
A ladder 5 meter long is leaning against a vertical wall. The bottoms of the ladder is pulled along the ground away from the wall at a constant rate 0.4. How fast will the top of the ladder be falling at the instant when its bottom is 3 meters away from the wall? So now we have to illustrate the situation before we further our discussion. So at first, kindly have the situation where we have x, y axis. Here they mention a ladder 5 meter long is leaning against a vertical wall. Let's say the y-axis as the vertical wall and the ladder denoted in a blue color. So now for the horizontal we consider as x and the vertical we consider as y. So now they said the bottom of the ladder pull along the ground away from the wall at a constant rate 0.4. Consider the bottom is pulled away at the rate, so we consider as dx dt. So we assume that to the right is a positive, so dx dt will become 0.4. So as the bottom moving to the right, automatically the top of the wall is going down. So meaning that the dy dt will be estimated as negative value because falling down. How fast will the top of the ladder be falling at the instant when its bottom is 3 meters away from the wall? So meaning that dy dt become our focus when x is equals to 3. So here we have the information. Dx dt is equals to 0.4. So kindly have the equation. So in here we notice that we have a right angle triangle. Try to have the situation where we have y and x and here we have 5. So by using the Pythagoras theorem, we have 25 is equals to x.
Kalau kita rujuk soalan ni pula, cabaran dia apa? Cabaran dia adalah situasi itu. So soalan ni semua bagi diagram kan? So nampaklah senang. So untuk soalan ni tak bagi diagram. You gonna imagine. Okay, you gonna imagine. So kenapa tangga saya letak sini? Sebab saya cuba untuk represent situasi itu dalam bentuk Cartesian form. Maksudnya kalau x itu kalau dia bergerak ke sana adalah positif. Kalau dia bergerak ke sana adalah negatif. Y ini pun sama. Kalau turun ke bawah adalah negatif. Kalau naik ke atas adalah positif. That's why saya letak first quadrant. Okay. So bila kita baca, pertama extract info. Nampak? Extract info. Extract info. Extract info. Okay. Kemudian yang kedua, kita kena wujudkan chain rule. Betul? Tetapi sebelum wujudkan chain rule, saya buat apa? Tadi saya kata apa? You punya situasi itu, you kena cuba nyatakan, iaitu XY itu apa. Seterusnya saya cakap apa? Ratio form dengan Pythagoras theorem form kan? Benda itu kenalah pandai-pandai untuk guna, untuk menjawab soalan. So kalau you tengok sini, dia cakap apa? Dia cakap apa? Pythagoras theorem. So x square y square equals to 25. So itu adalah saya punya soalan lah.
X square plus y square. Kindly express the y in terms of x. So rearrange the situation. Y squared will be equals to 25 minus x squared. And y will be equals to square root of 25 minus x squared. Or we can say y is equals to 25 minus x squared power of 1 over 2. Next, what we have to do is to differentiate the situation respect to x. So we will have dy dx is equals to 1 over 2 bracket 25 minus x squared bracket power of negative 1 over 2. Differentiate the internal function and we will have negative 2x. Simplify the situation. Dy dx is equals to negative x over square root of 25 minus x squared. Next, what we have to do is to find the chain rule, or by using the chain rule to find the situation dy dt. Dy dt is equals to dx dt multiply with dy dx. So kindly substitute the situation. So dy dt is equals to dx dt. So we have 0.4, which is equals to 4 over 10, multiply with dy dx. So in here we have negative x over square root of 25 minus x squared. So the situation asks us to find the situation when at the instant the bottom is 3 meters away from the wall. So meaning that x is equals to 3. Kindly substitute the situation. So we will have 4 over 10 bracket negative 3 over 25 minus 9. So we will have 16. Square root of 16 we will have 4. So finally, we can simplify the situation and we will have negative 3 over 10 as a dy dt, or we can say dy dt is equals to negative 0.3 m as negative 1, meaning that the top of the ladder will falling down at the rate 0.
Okay, so kalau kita tengok sini dia kata kalau kita x kan, tarik ke sebelah kanan, apa terjadi dekat y? Dia turun sebanyak berapa? Faham? 0.3 ms negative 1. Turunlah, maksudnya negatif tu. Tapi rate dia adalah 0.3. Boleh kot? So dah banyak ya contoh ya. So saya dah bincang. So haraplah you boleh tengok dia punya flow tu untuk menjawab soalan rate of change. Soalan yang terakhir untuk rate of change.
The patient is being fed intravenously from the conical shaped bottle of maximum radius 4 inches and the height 10 inches. So now meaning that the R is equals to 4 and the H is equals to 10. If the rate of the flow is 28 cubic inches per hour, so meaning that we have dV dt is equals to negative 28. Find the rate of which the fluid level is dropping. The fluid level means that the value of H. So meaning that our focus will be dH dt. Automatically we know will be the negative because dropping. In the bottle, when the level is at 8 inches means that H is equals to 8. When the level is at 2 inches, H is equals to 2. So now we have two situations when H is equals to 8 and H is equals to 2. So first extract the info. Second, state the formula. In here we have a cone, so V will be equals to pi R square H over 3. Here we have the situation is V in terms of R and H. So what we are trying to do is to switch the situation or modify the situation so that it becomes in terms of R or H. So now what we have to do is to have the chain rule. So what is the chain rule? Focus will be dH dt equals to multiplication of dV dt with dH dV. From here, we notice that we are going to have V in terms of H instead of R. So now we are going to make use of the ratio so that we can simplify the situation. So where we can have the situation, kindly refers to the right angle triangle. So previously we have here over H and here as a R. So the R is equals to 4 at the maximum. Same goes to the H, which is a 10 as a maximum. So now we have the situation changing. The R keep on changing. So meaning that when the R is changing, same goes to the H. So we have 4 over 10 equals to R over H for the ratio. So try to make use that the R become the subject. So R is equals to 4H over 10, simplify, R will be equals to 2H over 5. Kindly substitute the situation into the equation V so that we have V in terms of H. So now V is equals to pi H over 3 bracket R square, where we have 2H over 5 square. Simplify, so pi H bracket 4H square over 3 bracket 25. So V will be equals to 4 pi H cubed over 75. Then do remember differentiate the V respect to H. So dV dH will be equals to 3 bracket 4 pi H square over 75. Simplify the situation, 4 pi H square over 25 for the VDDH. Before we substitute the situation, do remember to flip the situation so that we have dH dV. So now we have dH dt is equals to dV dt. So in here the dV dt is negative 28 multiply with 25 over 4 pi H square. Simplify, 28 over 4 we have 7. So dH dt is equals to negative 7 multiply with 25 over pi H square. So finally we have dH dt is equals to negative 175 over pi H square. So based on the question, when the H is equals to 8, what is the dH dt? So kindly substitute negative 175 over pi bracket 64. So negative 175 over 64, and we will have negative 175 over 64 pi inches per hour. Or we can express the answer as negative 0.87 inches per hour for dH dt. If the H is 2, so we are going to substitute the value 2 and we will have negative 175 over 4 pi. Or the answer would be negative 175 divided by 4 pi. And you will have negative 13.9 inches per hour.
Okay, boleh? So saya haraplah ya, saya dah bincang 5 contoh dah untuk rate of change. Haraplah anda nampak patternnya untuk rate of change ini. So, saya rasa itu saja untuk hari ini dan terima kasih.